Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poplar Report. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about what happened to Matt Gaetz and what may happen next. This may actually put a smile on your face. Denver mayor says that he is going to fight the government deportations with his police force. Sounds a whole lot like civil war to me.
Right. First of all, I want to start by giving our praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. I also want to give a double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this word and the brothers who teach sincerely down. I also want to give a salutation to the speckled birds and elect scattered across the four corners of the earth. And as we get into it, we're approaching the times of Jacob trouble and civil war and civil unrest and World War III and many more things. And as prophecies speak. Okay, so as you see, the governor of Denver said he's going to have his police force fight against President Trump's immigrant group, well, the National Guard. Sounds like they're just setting up civil war. Okay. This is Matthew 12 and 25. Well, no, I'm going to start off at Luke 21 and 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotion, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. But the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these things shall lay their hands on you. Salaki, man, it's cold, and I'm got a cough. But as you read Luke 21 and 9, you see when there's commotion and wars and terrifying things must come to pass, but the end is not nearby. So even though we see all these things happening, we got to know the prophecies must go in line with each other, and which is they are right now. So we're at the beginning of sorrows, beginning of Jacob's trouble. All right, and this is as we see things lining up. You can see us maybe by January, or they said by Christmas, there might be World War III might start. And a lot of things must happen as we see things getting deeper and civil war headed towards us. Okay?
Got toothpaste recall that we need to discuss, ground beef recall. We got liberals planning on boycotting buying anything during the Trump presidency. I'm not sure.
See, so what they're trying to do is when this pop off, they won't have no resources. It will be on lockdown. National Guard tanks, military weapons will be military vehicles will be driving around. The things will be blocked off. It's just a perfect scenario to start this, and it's perfectly falling in line with each other by them letting in the migrants, and then you see that the migrants will lead to World War. They're using the migrants to lead to National Guard to shut this place down again, so they can move on with their agenda and get it started.
How that's going to work, but we'll discuss how it may impact you. We got auto repair inflation, we got toilet paper, we got fake eggs, and we got a lot more to discuss. Let's jump right into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over about what's going on out there, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and the people that you're talking to out there. Thank you.
Okay, you can watch this. This is as you see the video right here. All right, I got another video I want to play.
NetCredit is here to say yes to a personal loan or line of credit, even when
and what he called showing the flag, which means brandishing their weapon.
America has allowed gangs to enter our country.
See, so they're using the Southern Kingdom and Jake to go against each other and clash by using these gangs and allowing these migrants to come in here. See, Esau know what he's doing.
The migrants that are coming, they're taking over every block right now.
The city of Chicago is going to go up in smoke, it's going to go up in flame.
Gangs in Chicago are angry over the influx of migrants and criminals in their city. They say money that should be going to the African American community on the South Side is instead going to what they call non-citizens, and warn that turf wars between Chicago's gangs and groups like Venezuela's Tren de Aragua could see Chicago, quote, go up in flames. Photographer Matt McDermott and I traveled to Chicago's South Side to see what was happening for ourselves after we heard about a police report last month that the Tren de Aragua gang had taken over an office building there. We spoke to a number of young, hardcore gang members, as well as gang elders who have retired from the life, and just regular citizens who are very much part of the community. And they're all furious at the estimated $500 million that's reportedly been funneled toward new migrants in Chicago since 2022. And they aren't happy either about what they say are Venezuelan criminal gangs that are leaving the shelters and spilling out into the South Side into abandoned buildings. I spoke to Tyrone Muhammad of Ex-Cons for Trump, who runs a street patrol and violence prevention program. He's gone straight since his days as an enforcer for the Gangster Disciples. And he said the situation is very tense on the South Side as turf battles between the local gangs and Venezuelan migrants heat up.
It is impossible to release gang members and criminals into our country through the borders and broken walls, and then infiltrate them in our community that's already impoverished, that's already broken, that's already disinvested. And when the black gangs, the leadership in the black gangs in Chicago get fed up with the illegalities and the criminal activity of these migrants or non-citizens, the city of Chicago is going to go up in smoke, it's going to go up in flame, and it's going to be nothing that the National Guard or our government can do about it when the bloodshed.
You see, but that's what the Esau want. You know, they want all chaos, order out of chaos. You know, that's just what they want, and they're setting it all up. Gang on gang, woman against men, Skittle community against Trump. Trump supporters against Kamala Harris supporters, Christians against Israelites. There's just so much division going on right now, which is a perfect setup.
It hit the streets, blacks against migrants.
Zach Massey did time in state prison with Tyrone Muhammad, although he's only 27.
Then you got members of the, well, I think it was the government, but the, what are they called? The Nazis showing their face out, and the black man saying he wish they would, more division. So the perfect scenario to start a civil war, which it will be here soon, maybe before next year. Jacob's trouble might pop off.
The leader on the streets, and said he's disgusted by the money going to Venezuelan migrants at the expense, he says, of the African American community.
I finally actually talked to him on the translator app, and he told me all the things that he got going on, how they help him get a car, apartment, clothes, lane. So it's just I just be looking at it like they ain't got no Social Security, no, where they come from. He probably not even here legally.
They get right here, they get quick housing, quick funding, food. They get cars with no license. They can't even read English and stuff like that. So they get all these perks when they get here, and we still here starving. So what are we going to do about it? Are y'all going to listen to our cries?
Corey Rogers was a Blackstone gang member for years. He drove us around the South Side and showed us areas where he said Tren de Aragua and other criminal gangs are setting up shop, and what he called showing the flag, which means brandishing their weapons in front of a housing project.
The migrants that are coming, they're taking over every block right now in this area. Right now you don't see them because they come out at night. They said they took this courtway over probably about last week. He said it was 100 Venezuelans standing out in the front right here.
Terry, is it an abandoned building? How do they just take it over?
They just, when you take over something, you just stand outside, and that's called showing the flag.
What kind of guns do they have?
Semi-automatics, anything you name, you're gonna see it on the street. These boys got so many big guns that if they're 150 pounds, the gun is bigger than them. I swear.
But they know how to handle it, right? They know it. Tell me about the fact that they're criminals, right? This is a criminal element. These aren't just a bunch of Venezuelans that walked over the border and used to be gardeners back home, right?
Right. They come from the gangland. They come from rougher gangs than us.
One gang member, who only gave his name as David on a particularly dangerous drug-dealing corner on the South Side, did not hold back when he talked about the influx of criminal gangs from other countries into Chicago.
The real issue is that America has allowed gangs to enter our country. Gangs that they would consider ex-terrorist groups that are formed here. We are terrorist groups if we're in a gang. They let terrorists in our country.
The Reverend Corey Brooks also said to me he's disgusted with Democratic policies and said that Black Lives Matter, for example, has never reached out to help him or anyone else trying to improve conditions on the South Side.
Chicago is a blue city, and Illinois is a blue state. There's no doubt about it that the majority of our neighborhood, they're going to continue to vote Democrat until they wake up. The good news is that there are a lot of people.
All right, this is Matthew 24 and 27. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. So we see the nations rising against nations. We see war coming. We see kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines. And we see the famine coming with the ports closing down in Canada, 2 major ports, and all these food callbacks and shortage. So when this thing hit, it's gonna hit. Like, there ain't gonna be no food. You know, it's gonna be all out anarchy. You know, it's gonna be bad here in America. And pestilence, you got the pestilence running rapidly because they still pushing the P box, the P box, if you know what I mean, and more other different variants. So, like I said, Esau is setting this thing up perfectly for this place to be closed down and become a war, become civil war. Famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, and we see earthquakes all over the place. For as in the day, matter of fact, there's been more earthquakes this year than any other time. If you look it up on the earthquake app. For as in the day there were before the flood, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage. And you still see people still out here. If you go to work, family members and people not in His truth, or fake Israelites using wrong names, or Christians still out here being married and giving in marriage and drinking and having fun and acting like none of this is going on because the news ain't really telling nobody. And when the prophets talk, all they can think about is how everybody can be saved. So we see how this thing is going. Until the day that Noah entered into the ark and knew not until the flood came and took them away, so shall also the coming of Son of Man be. Then shall 2 be in a field, the one shall be taken and the other left. 2 women shall be grinding at the mill, and one shall be taken and the other left. Okay.
Who are responding and waking up and saying, listen, we're not going to take this. We're not going to stand for this. We're going to vote differently. And they're now.
All right, let me play one more video, just a little bit of it.
Imagine a financial app that lets you spend, save, and invest like never before.
500 migrants back to Texas, offering free one-way plane and bus tickets to other states. So Abbott sends migrants to New York, then New York spends all this money, millions, to send them back to Texas. The Big Apple has spent more than...
So Texas has sent around 30,000 people to New York on buses, and it looks like New York is now trying to send them back. In fact, asylum seekers here can not only get a free plane or bus...
End.
Concerns growing tonight among New York City's migrant community about what President-elect Trump's immigration policies could mean for them. Migrants, along with immigration advocates, gathered tonight in Foley Square, where they expressed fear over Trump's campaign promise of mass deportations. Fox 5's Kendall Green has more.
Hundreds of immigrant advocates packed into Foley Square to rally with signs and chants.
No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
And a spirit of resilience against an incoming Trump administration they've had battles with years before.
While our movement
this is so funny to me.
experiences setbacks, we will not be silenced.
Aparicio is an immigrant from Mexico, among hundreds in the crowd, sharing since election night he's had worries for him and his loved ones.
It's really boring for me because when I came to this country, I was hoping to find opportunities for myself and my family. With Trump, it's going to be a little harder.
Mayor Adams earlier this week admitted the city has struggled to balance the overall rhetoric and balance its budget due to the influx of migrants.
The pressure of finding billions of dollars instead of going to those needs that everyday New Yorkers needed.
Yet the administration addressed the fears many immigrants expressed ahead of Thursday's demonstration.
I want to reassure people they do not need to self-deport. They do not need to hide, go in the shadows, and that they can continue to use our city services.
Members of the New York Immigration Coalition gathered to stand up for immigrants amid imminent threats posed by Trump's second presidency.
We are here today to reaffirm our...
All right, that's all I'm gonna play. Y'all get the point. You know, get right with the Lord. Get yourself together. Keep praying, fasting, because Jacob trouble is coming. Hard times is coming, and you know, hey, shalom.